All right, hello everybody, and happy Thursday.
Hello,
Can't
hello.
believe it's September. My mind is blown. Your mind blown?
Oh, no.
My mind is blown.
Dancing in September.
Welcome to S+Marketing. We are super excited to be here with you. This episode is climate change, software, and MQLs. What does it all mean? You're going to find out. We are S+Marketing, and we're live-ish. What is S+Marketing? Thanks for asking. It's marketing based on the ultimate human technology, stories. We are here to stories. Very good.
Stories.
We are here. Just waiting for Jen to chime in. We're here to help you feel and be smarter about what's happening in marketing right now. And so we're excited to be here. While we introduce ourselves, we're a group of growth marketing consultants. So we're going to talk about ourselves for like 10 seconds, probably more than that. While we do that, grab a cup of coffee or a cookie or share what's going on Facebook, do something to help us out. That'd be great. And then we'll dive in. Chad, why don't you get started and also tell us about today's sponsor?
Sponsor. Yes, absolutely. So hello, everyone. I am Chad Alexander, and I am this video strategist with Story Collaborative. And that means I help businesses figure out what to do in this wild world of video. And that's anywhere from pre-production to post-production, meaning, hey, let's get all these actors in a room and talk about something, all the way to actually deploying it on YouTube and Vimeo. So our sponsor today is Drop Mix, the crazy game of 2018 that you could remix your favorite songs to. No longer in stores, so thanks for that sponsorship, Dropbox. So there you go. And guys, I've been informed that when I turn off my video, I do a kind of roulette where I'll switch places with everybody else. So I'm not going to do that. Okay, guys, I'm just going to stay on video and not mute my reactions. So there you go.
Thank
Chad,
you.
I think every time you do a sponsor of the day, you look around your office and you look around for something, you grab it. Like,
That's
today's
right.
sponsor, my keys.
That's right. They caught me. Now they know.
On that note, Dave, you want to say hello?
Howdy, I'm Dave, and I'm the Chief Growth Officer here at Story, and we are super passionate about helping you to dial in on your growth, and we'd love to help you find your next best step. What's the next thing you could do that would give you a big return? So happy to be here with the crew today, and we're gonna have some smart things to talk about.
Love it. Jennifer.
Hey everybody, I'm Jennifer Bailey and I'm the web therapist here at Story Collaborative. So I have the privilege of diagnosing websites to find out what's wrong with them so that we can figure out also how to make them better and perform in really smart ways. That's what I do.
Yes, they're so much smart. Well, today, I'm our creative director. My goal and my role is to make sure that brands are unified from the receptionist answering the phone all the way to your logos and your colors and everything in between. It's what I'm passionate about. And I believe in it. I believe in the importance of it. So today, we're talking about smart advertising to conservative audiences. We're going to talk about video editing tools. We're going to work out what a marketing qualified lead is, an MQL, more acronyms from the marketing world. Thank you, marketing world. And then we're going to discuss what that means for you. And as you adapt your own stuff, also note that we have a drawing for inbound. Woot. This year it is digital, naturally. We're all stuck at home still. So digital inbound conference is going to be at the end of September. It's going to be really awesome. We've got people like Bob Iger from Disney and Fortune Feimster, the comedian, among other really big names. And you'll get a front row seat at your computer to these amazing conversations that are going to happen. We're giving away a free ticket because we're cool. But you do have to go subscribe to our weekly Get Smart About Marketing email called Short Stack. You can go to bit.ly/GetSmartQuick and subscribe to that, and then you'll be entered to win a free inbound ticket. Okay, enough commercials. repeat after me. This is where we give you verbatim responses for, you know, Uncle Harry or your boss or your intern or whoever it might be that's asking you marketing questions that you're supposed to know an answer to. So scary. Chad,
Yes.
let's start with you. I have a question for you.
Sounds good. All
How
right.
do you respond to a client when they ask you what's the best video editing tool? What do you say to
DaVinci
them?
Resolve. DaVinci Resolve.
Okay.
And that's it. No. Okay. Waka waka. No, the best video editing tool is the best video editing tool for yourself. Now let me explain. You have to break down this into kind of a user experience, right? So what kind of system do you have? Do you have a Mac or a Windows desktop? It's going to change drastically what kind of programs you have. Now, folks like DaVinci Resolve and Adobe Premiere have programs across the board, but there are some quirks to them that you have to understand, as well as, you know, there's certain like Canon Live, certain software that's specific to Macs that is not compatible with Windows and vice versa. You also have to consider if you're just editing from your phone, you're going to be drastically limited because of just the phone's real estate with editing video. It's a little bit harder to edit video with a smaller screen, right? Really, the best video editing tool fits your costs, right? If you're going out there and you're a small business and you just want to get videos out there, iMovie is completely acceptable form of video editing. You know, Biteable, Wave.video, these online video editors could be good for your budget. They don't cost you much monthly. They might be what you need to get out just videos quickly. And that's the third key thing. The best video editing tool is the tool that allows you to get video out quickly. Because what you want to do is you want to test the market. You want to make sure that when you put out a video, you don't just rest on it. A lot of people, you know, and this worked back in the day when stuff would actually go viral or stuff was like one and done. And video production wasn't it was a big deal. But now video production's really exploded. So responding to your audience, getting it out there, and even if you're just changing the first 7 seconds, can really help you fine tune what the audience wants in the video. So if that's still too vague for you, I would be happy to refer you to a quiz that I've devised called What Video Editing Tool is Right for You. And you'll get a score at the end. And if you provide, and if you provide me your name and your email address, I'd be happy to send you a personalized video. I might have lost you guys.
Well, that's
there.
part of that sounded like Chad was using a stuttering machine or something. Like he was using a voice changing machine.
Yes. Can you just go over the quiz one more time? Because on this side where it's getting recorded, that was intense.
Oh, okay.
It was.
Okay, that's not good. So this quiz is what video editing tool is right for you. If you guys take it and you provide me your name and your email address, I'd be happy to send you a personalized recommendations in a video email that I send you. So hey,
that's quite an offer.
Not only will you get scored into what editors you should use, but also I'll send you that email. So cool stuff.
Love it. Thank you so much, Chad. That's great. Do you have a question for someone else?
I do have a question for someone else. And my question is, Dave, how to respond when your sales team asks, how do you define a marketing qualified lead or an MQL?
That's a great question, Chad. But before I answer it, I just want to say, you know, the whole world has gone to video. And when this whole COVID thing is over, the whole world's still going to be video. And so you ought to take Chad up on these tools and quizzes and stuff for video, because it's going to be around for a while. So your question is, What do I do when a sales team member asks me, hey, how do you define a marketing qualified lead? A marketing qualified lead, the initials for this are MQL, marketing qualified lead, and this is part of the terminology that's used when people have a CRM in which they are categorizing leads and they're running them through a marketing and sales process. So it goes marketing qualified lead, which is followed by a sales qualified lead. Here's what you have to cue in on though. If your sales team member is asking you, how do you define a marketing qualified lead? What they are really saying, read between the lines, is that they're wondering if you're sending them bad leads. A marketing qualified lead is someone who's indicated interest in what your company or nonprofit has to offer, and they're more likely to become a customer than someone who hasn't. So this is what people do when they vote with their feet or they vote with their mouse by clicking. And this is a definition that marketing teams create to say this person has done enough stuff online that we think they are more likely to become a customer than everybody else. And so therefore, we're going to pass them over to sales as a marketing qualified lead. It's an important term and it's helpful. And it's really important that you ask the sales team, though, the alternative question, which is, so what do you think about the quality of the leads? And just brace yourself. The more you ask this question, the better you're going to get at giving them leads that they actually want. So marketing qualified lead, MQL, that's giving people leads that are going to close, hopefully. I think Jennifer should answer a question. I got one. I got a stumper for you, Jennifer. What do you do when your CEO asks this question? Jennifer, why do we have a blog? Isn't that a bunch of personal musings like the travel and the children's stuff from one of our staff?
Oh man, Mr. CEO, I hope not. If so, you might want to go have a talk with that guy, because that. And also, Mr. CEO, where have you been for the last 10 years, okay? 20 years. I don't know, I'm getting older. I keep losing track of time. Seriously, that's not what a blog is at all anymore. So a blog is actually like an awesome piece of content, full of pieces of content, probably your best marketing asset. A blog can have like tons of articles in it. It can also have videos, but only if you take Chad's quiz. And it can have other stuff in it too, like, quizzes, infographics, stuff like that. And it can answer people's questions. It could help your leads to get their own questions answered before they even talk to your sales team so that they're prepared. I mean, like if, for example, you had like a ferret infestation, let's just pretend, and you had a ferret who was attacking your home every time your kids go out the door, this ferret just jumps on them. So
this ferret infestation.
What do I do about this ferret? So you have to look online, right, to find out, what do I do about this ferret? Well, maybe will M&Ms work? Maybe Skittles, to like guide it away. And so those are the kinds of questions you can answer on your blog. So,
ferret infestation.
Just imagine how many people you would get to come to your website if you were to write about ferret infestations. There's so many people searching for that every day. That's a great idea, Jennifer.
Actually,
I hope no one steals that. We should do that.
You probably would get more readership than, for example, if you wrote about something really, really boring. So, I have a question though. I have a question for Amy. And Amy, real quick, before I ask that question, I have a sponsor, okay? And I'm going to surprise everyone.
A real sponsor.
Not really.
Cheetos.
All right.
Oh!
How are they?
Not Cheetos. Pita. They're so good. And guess what, guys? 70 calories, right? Gluten-free. All the kids love them.
70
I know
calories, that's a good thing?
exactly where I'm going
Wow,
after this.
that's right. Take that, Chester. Boom.
So
Right,
if you don't know
because
what that's in reference to, then look at our last episode because you need to know. So Amy, how would you maybe convince your boss that your brand needs some time and investment?
Hey, before
ooh,
you answer, Amy, before you answer, I want to augment the question. How would you convince your boss that your brand needs some time and investment, especially when your boss's niece drew the logo and your boss has it embroidered on all of their clothing? Okay, there we go.
that is so common as to be almost not funny. But you guys still hear me? Okay.
Yes.
Sorry, everything was silent. I was like, what's happening? Listen, a brand is not a logo. So I think one thing that's really important is that you sort of get on the same page with terminology, because typically when you say the word brand, what people hear is logo, but those are super not the same thing. A logo lives inside a brand. A brand does not live inside a logo, and it is not a logo. So you really want to say something to the effect of, when I say I need to invest in our brand, what I mean is our overall messaging, the unified story we're telling people, from the website to the receptionist to our social content, all of that lacks unity. And people are so confused about who we are and what we provide and what we're trying to say, that we're actually having a serious issue. We need a strategy. And I might not even be talking about touching the logo when I say our brand needs investment. So that's what you say. And if you are intending to do a rebrand without addressing any of the other things I listed, then I would caution you that that is also a terrible idea, because new logos are going to get you nowhere if you haven't fixed all the other stuff. So word to the wise. Okay, guys. So great repeat after me session. Let's move on to term of the week. Dave, do you have something awesome for us to learn?
I've got a really important term that, anyone who's doing marketing really needs to understand. And the term of the week, here it is online conversion. So what is an online conversion? We hear this word conversion get tossed around, conversion rate optimization. How many conversions did you have? It can mean a lot of different things, but we're talking about online conversions. And this is when somebody completes a goal in some of the digital space that we're in. That could be a goal on an ad. It could be a goal on a website. It often means a click, but not always. So in order to have an online conversion, I just want to let you know, some people, some business owners, some leaders don't understand the concept of online conversions. They view websites as like billboards, yellow pages, phone books. They're basically informational, they're static, and they don't really expect anyone to become a customer from a website or a digital property. But we are in the world space right now where every company has to be looking at how well are their online conversions going. So there's a couple of tiers here of online conversions. The first one is the conversion that comes from the source of where your customer came from. So that would be a click on an ad, a click on a Google search page, a click on an email. That's a ad conversion. So there's a click rate for that. There's a conversion rate that happens when we have people click. The second tier, which I think I want to talk more about just a little bit, is what is the conversion on your website? So when someone comes to your website as a visitor and they complete a goal that you want them to complete, that's a conversion. And if you don't think this is a good, important thing for you to be working on, just think for a minute. In your industry, what percentage of people do you think actually start looking for what you offer by searching online? In many industries, that could be as high as 90+% of people start looking online first. So that tells you just how important this is. There's a couple different conversions you should be thinking about. The first one is there's no click involved at all. In fact, the conversion is they're just interested and they stick around. This is an engagement conversion. And this is tracked by how many pages they look at on the website. It is a click between pages, right? So that's a click. It's also how much time do they spend on websites, on your website. So that's the first conversion. It's just an interest conversion sticking around. The second one is visitor to subscriber. This is when they go from visiting to actually giving you their contact information. Sometimes they'll give you their number 3 email address, the one they don't actually look at because they're just trying to get what you're offering. But
I definitely have a number 3 email address.
Yeah. Yes,
Number
a
2
lot of people do. And they never read them. I had somebody subscribe to our website once, and the email address was like SEO don't read this at gmail.com. You know, so it was obviously like the guy was not going to read whatever I sent them. That's the first conversion is subscription. The second conversion then would be when they spend some money or time with you. They watch a webinar, they buy something, they schedule with you. That's a conversion. The last conversion is when they make a purchase. All of these conversions, engagement, subscription, converting by giving time or money, and making a purchase decision, all of that can happen on your website. And you should be tracking all of those rates to see how you're doing. If you want to learn more about it, love to talk to you about how you're doing on conversions online. So give us a ring.
Ring.
Look at ads, Jamie. Show us ads.
If I tell my twin girls, say hello, they don't say hello. They put their hand to their ear. They're like, hello is for the phone. Hi is for people. Hello is for the phone. I'm like, how many times have you seen me answer the phone and say hello? That's terrible. Anyway, apparently a lot of times. All right, ads in the wild. Rawr. Today, we're not talking about tigers or cheetahs, although now I really want some pedos. Really bad.
Right.
We're talking about climate change. Now, I'm just gonna be honest with you. This is not a topic I like to talk about. It's one that I have some qualms with. But this awesome company knows that about me. I'm going to share my screen. Name of this brand is Geo. And here is, can you guys see this? Can you guys see this okay? Yes, and I'm getting thumbs up. Okay, so geothermal.
Great, yes.
Let's just play some of these ads. You guys will get the gist.
I can't hear them.
Can't hear that?
No, I can't hear it.
Oh no.
You have to go in, stop sharing, reshare, and then enable audio. You need to click on enable audio.
We could just do Mystery Science Theater 57,000. We can voice the ads for them. So we can
there we go.
Say, hello.
I love it. The great news is. Okay. Let's try. Let's see what happens.
Well, red or I know you didn't get geothermal to save the environment, but does it save you a lot of money?
Absolutely.
It does. It's about half every month of what we did at our old house.
Well, red or blue, we can all agree on green.
Yeah.
Green money.
Yeah.
Money.
Right.
Money
Of course.
And green energy. I know.
That is so well timed too, just because of all the insanity around politics that always comes around every 4 years. You know, like I love that comment, green or blue, we can all agree on green, you know, or red or blue. Let's see, agree to agree. So they have a bunch of these images, agree to agree, okay. One thing that they've done, and I'm gonna play a couple more before I say too much, but one thing they've done is they have not made an enemy or.
Does he? Okay, he has pants on. Okay, good. I was just curious.
Everyone's wearing clothes.
That was concerning. That was concerning. I just saw.
Yeah, that was really concerning.
I was like, whoa.
They're
Especially
not
the placement of the fanny pack. Whew. I just want to make sure. You know.
Oh my Lord, they are not making a mockery of people who aren't totally sold on climate change, people that are skeptics, people that follow other scientists that have other things to say about climate change. Me, I'm among one of those people, right? They're not making a mockery of those people. They're sort of saying, they're actually kind of making more mockery of this I'm with her guy. I'm with her, the planet. This like hilarious, nerdy, highly liberal guy, right? That's kind of who they're making more of a mockery of, and I think that's incredibly smart. So let's watch this one.
Ian Johnson Garcia Marquez. I'm driving across the heartland trying to get everyday Americans to stop using fossil fuels and to start using geothermal before our planet bursts into flames. Have you ever thought of switching to geothermal heating and cooling to fight against climate change?
Nope.
No?
Nope.
Climate change is a farce.
Baloney.
Somebody said we were going to be frozen over by now. What do you see?
Well, do you believe in saving money?
We like saving money.
Well, if you had installed geothermal when you bought your house, that's how much money you could have saved.
$18,920.
Wasted $16,000.
Can we turn the clock back? Save me all this money?
You want to save money? I want to save the earth. We both win.
You save the earth, I'll save money. We'll be good. We can sit out on the porch. You can have a latte, and I'll have a cold beverage.
Great. You have very kind eyes.
And whatever.
Whatever.
So good.
That was a
right?
great ad. I like that
Jennifer
because
actually is the one who.
they've reframed the argument. It's not about what you think. It's about saving money. Yeah, that's really smart.
That's
Reframing
great.
is smart.
Yeah.
Incredibly smart. Jen's actually the one who found these ads, so thanks, Jen, for finding these. There's another one where a sort of very average looking girl is sitting in her bedroom on her bed, and she just dives into the conversation around geothermal, and she's very much like maybe a Gen Z, or maybe she's young millennial, and she dives into the conversation around the fact that that one of the biggest culprits of emissions is houses and buildings, and how all these people, trying to change what they drive and all this stuff that they're doing isn't really helping if they haven't done anything to make their house not, be low emissions. And so that's a very like peer driven ad. It's like, listen, you think you're so cool, but like, what about your house, right? You're not thinking about the fact that this is one of the biggest culprits of the climate issue we're having. So anyway, it's incredibly smart. And I just love the fact that they really stopped and said, what do people actually care about? Well, something that will make change is their money. If instead of saying, how can we convince a bunch of climate change skeptics that it really matters and they should change, right? They're not going to do that. It doesn't make any sense. There's nothing they can say, right? All these arguments we were on Facebook, there's nothing you can say to convince someone differently. They believe something different. What you can do is talk about their pocket and money that's coming out of it. So brilliant.
What do you
Any
think
other thoughts,
about what do you think about the fact that they have caricatured both sides though? In
They
these
have,
ads, the green guy looks kind of, goofy, and the
Crunchy,
people on the other side look kind of crotchety. So I don't know if I would have done that necessarily, if I would have made that big of a contrast. It is very funny. So it has a lot of humor value, but it does caricature both sides, which I think is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Well, in my mind, what that does is it puts whoever's watching, whether you believe in climate change and you're making changes in your own life to help the issue, or you're someone who's skeptical, who's not sure the science really adds up, you can see yourself in that video. You can be on like this guy who's like, we're supposed to be frozen over, but look around, right? Like that's the most ridiculous, kind of a ridiculous thing to say. Even as conservative, I can say like, he sounds dumb, right? So someone who believes in climate change can be like, I've totally been in that conversation with that stupid guy who's like, the world's not frozen over, right? But same on the other side, that farmer, you can as a conservative be like, I've been in that conversation when someone's like, have you ever thought about making this massive life change for something you don't really believe in? And the guy's like, no, we're on my farm. What are you talking? Like, are you serious right now? So I think it's all about helping both audiences see themselves in the video and really identify with those ridiculous conversations.
What's interesting about it is that if they had gone closer to reality, which would have been someone very earnest about climate change and someone not ridiculous, but earnestly opposed or not in agreement, that actually would have been an emotional ad, which could have actually raised alarm. But by pushing it to the boundaries of kind of characterizing people, it makes it a humor instead, so you can have a little fun with it. So I think it was actually very clever that they positioned it the way they did.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think if they'd been more realistic, it would have been polarizing. It would have created a polar response. So anyway, very clever, very wise. Let's move on to the brief. Chad, what you got for us?
Brief. I have a little snippet here, and actually this is another thing that Jennifer introduced us, apart from a great ad. Let's talk about BERT. Now, I'm not talking about Bert and Ernie. Unfortunately, I wish I could, because, you know, you got to give me some street, right, guys? All right, so BERT stands for Bidirectional Encoder Representation for Transformers. Now, this isn't a Michael Bay thing. It has to do with Google and the search algorithm that is behind Google. Now, RankBrain is one they developed years ago. This is going to work in sync with RankBrain. It's going to increase accuracy by 2%, which most people are like, whoopee, 2%. But it actually will help a lot in getting your, you know, whenever you search something, getting you to where you need to be. And this is really good. That means that you're, you know, keep plugging away with your SEO and doing those sort of things. But it's, you know, Google's trying to make a better experience for those who are searching. So now it's at a 93.16% accuracy rate. So they're starting to cobble all these things together, all this stuff that they learned. Well, the machine learning is doing this, and AI. They're starting to compile these results together to get better search results for us. So it's a good thing. So I think they either recently rolled this out or they're just about to. So yeah, so good stuff from Google. The TLDR version of this is BERT is coming for Google, and he's going to make your search rankings a lot better. So there you go. Did I get all that right, Jennifer? Is there anything you want to add?
Did a great job. I would just say that it's really important to stay alert about the kinds of updates that are happening, because what you are doing one day to get your rankings up in Google may change the next day.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you just need to be aware of them. So that's it.
Also, you know, this is part of Google's journey to taking natural human language and making it searchable. So it's one more step toward the way you talk being searchable with less confusion, which means verbal searches are continuing to go up. That's the important thing to know.
It also means that Google's taking over the world.
Still taking over the world. I think the one thing about Google, the common American, like the everyday American, I think sees Google as something they own, right? Google has a ton of brand equity. And what that means is a lot of people are highly invested in the brand and in some ways feel like it's theirs. And so we imagine Google as sort of this thing that does a thing for us, and it's for us, and it's for our businesses to be found. But Google is for itself. Google has its very own goal in mind. And certainly them wanting to get people to the right place, you know, could be good for us. Essentially, it's its own entity with its own goal. And if we want to get rankings on it, we have to play by their rules. And so it's important to sort of keep that top of mind too. Like, you're playing by someone else's rules. And if you want to be on their fancy website that has taken over how people research and buy stuff, then you better do what they want you to do. So, all right, let's move on to website therapy. Jen.
Good. So it's time for some therapy, guys. So I'm going to start with a series of questions, okay? So does your website lack any return visitors, or have your site visits fallen off? Is it failing to get any lead conversions from real people? Has it been more than 3 years since you have had real work done on your website? Has it been built by a do-it-yourself solution, or did maybe Jonas in your uncle's basement design it for you?
Jonas.
This can be a touchy subject. Nobody wants to hear that their baby is ugly. If your website is suffering from any of these symptoms, it is probably suffering from the Ugle disease known as no date for prom-itis. Other symptoms of no date for prom-itis include: is very unattractive or unpleasant to look at. It's offensive to the eye. It's displeasing in appearance. Nobody compliments your website. People don't call you back after they've seen it. You or other staff members are afraid or embarrassed to give out the domain name. So, if this is your website, there are treatment options available for no date for prom-itis. To verify your diagnosis, you will need to contact your web therapist to do a thorough first impressions and design assessment. The therapist will assess the use of your brand, the layout of the information, the use of the photos and the video, and of course the overall appearance from an objective and a subjective perspective. So there may be simple treatment options available for no date for prom-itis, or you may need a full website redesign, full makeover. So next week, we're going to learn about another website problem and solution. Stay tuned for signs and symptoms of the tactics used by fearful websites known as ostrich complex. Any questions?
That was great, Jennifer. Yeah, I think it's really interesting when you think about all these things that we have, all these feelings we have about our website. I think it's important, just like, when we think about dates for the prom, it's not all about looks. Looks is important. It's also about personality. Don't forget personality. And I think that it would be great. A great first step would be for you to take the personality quiz that Amy will put up on the feed for your website, a website personality, because you don't always ask the prettiest person to the prom. Sometimes you ask the nicest person to the prom, and hopefully it's both, but you got to choose pretty or nice, right? So sometimes you got to make a choice. Put that link up if you would, Amy.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Well, thank you for being here with us. We had a really great time. Our Short Stack subscription, remember, could get you a free ticket to Inbound. Also note that Short Stack has gotten shorter. Yeah. We are stripping away all the extra blah, 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 because we like to talk. And it's going to have just really great highlights to make sure that when you get it in your inbox, you are learning something quickly so you can move on and get your job done. Remember that stories are the ultimate human technology, and we are always here on Facebook and YouTube, 12 noon on Thursdays. See you guys. Thanks.
Have a good
See
one.
you guys.